Right now, somewhere in your pocket or on the table beside you, your phone is sitting there. Dark screen, silent. Waiting? And in the next 10 minutes, you are going to pick it up. Not because you need to, not because anything happened. You'll pick it up because something ancient inside you cannot stand not knowing. But the real answer for why you do this is far stranger than addiction or bad habits. It has almost nothing to do with willpower. It has everything to do with a mechanism buried so deep in your brain that no amount of self-discipline was ever designed to fight it. Start with a simple question. How many times today have you unlocked your phone for no reason at all? Not to check a message you were expecting. Not to answer a call, just unlocked it. Looked. Locked it again. 20 times? 40. Some studies put the average person at over 100 phone checks a day. That number should stop you, because you didn't choose it. Something else did. In the 1950s, a psychologist named B.F. Skinner ran an experiment with pigeons that would end up explaining your phone better than any tech company ever will. He put pigeons in a box with a lever. Peck the lever, get a food pellet. Simple. Predictable. The pigeons pecked when hungry, stopped when full. Boring behavior, boring result. Then Skinner changed one thing. Instead of a pellet every time, the lever paid out at random. Sometimes nothing, sometimes a reward. No pattern, no way to predict it. And the pigeons didn't calm down. They became obsessed. They pecked harder, longer, more frantically than the pigeons who always got rewarded. Skinner called it a variable ratio reinforcement schedule. You know it by a different name. A slot machine. Here's the uncomfortable part. Your phone runs on the exact same schedule. Every time you pull down to refresh, you are pecking the lever. Sometimes there's a message, sometimes a like, sometimes nothing. And your brain cannot tell the difference between a pigeon in a box and you in a waiting room. The uncertainty is the addiction, not the reward itself. Why would a brain built over millions of years be so easily hijacked by a piece of glass and aluminum? To understand that, you have to go back, not centuries, not millennia, further. To a version of you standing in tall grass, scanning the horizon, because a rustle in the bushes might mean food, or it might mean something that wants to eat you. Your ancestors who paid close attention to unpredictable signals survived. The ones who ignored them didn't get a second chance. That hyper-alertness to something might be happening isn't a flaw. It's the reason you exist at all. Fast forward. Replace the rustling bush with a notification badge. Replace the predator with a text from someone you like. Same circuitry, same alertness, same chemical reward waiting on the other side of uncertainty. Your brain doesn't know it's 2026. It just knows something unpredictable might be important, and important things, historically, were worth checking immediately. Now bring in the actual chemistry. Dopamine. You've heard the word thrown around so often it barely means anything anymore. But here's what the research actually shows. Dopamine isn't the pleasure chemical the internet loves to call it. Neuroscientist Wolfram Schultz, working with primates in the 1990s, discovered something far more interesting. Dopamine doesn't spike when you get a reward. It spikes right before, in the moment of anticipation. The moment you don't yet know what's waiting. That's the peak, not the answer, the question. This is why refreshing your phone feels different from actually reading the message. The second before the screen loads, before you know if it's good news, bad news, or nothing at all, that's when your brain lights up the most. The second after, often flat, often disappointing, and so you refresh again, chasing not the content, but the not knowing. Psychiatrist Anna Lembke, who has spent years studying compulsive behavior at Stanford, describes modern life as swimming in a flood of easy dopamine hits, so constant and so accessible that your brain's baseline shifts. It starts expecting stimulation at a pace no natural environment could ever provide. And when the stimulation stops, even for a few quiet minutes, your brain doesn't experience it as calm. It experiences it as absence, as a gap that must be filled, which is exactly the moment your hand starts moving toward your phone before you've even consciously decided to reach for it. There's a term researchers use for the anxiety that spikes when you think you might be missing something important: fear of missing out. But that phrase makes it sound modern, almost trivial, something invented by social media apps. It isn't. For most of human history, missing information could mean missing a warning, missing a shift in the group, missing a signal that mattered for survival. Being socially and environmentally aware wasn't optional. It was the whole strategy. Your phone didn't invent that fear. It just built a machine that never stops feeding it. Think about what a notification actually is: a tiny, unpredictable signal arriving without warning, potentially carrying information relevant to your social standing, your safety, or your relationships. To a brain shaped by 2 million years of exactly that kind of signal mattering, a buzzing phone doesn't read as trivial. It reads as urgent, every single time. Even when, rationally, you know it's probably nothing. And here's the twist almost nobody talks about. The apps aren't guessing about any of this. Adam Alter, who researches behavioral addiction, has written extensively about how deliberately these patterns are engineered. Infinite scroll removes the natural stopping point your brain used to rely on. Autoplay removes the moment of choice. Red notification badges exploit a color your visual system is already primed to treat as urgent. None of this is accidental. Every one of these choices was tested, measured, and kept specifically because it increased the number of times you pick the phone back up. So when you tell yourself you just need more willpower, you're fighting the wrong battle. You are not weak. You are not lacking discipline. You are a survival machine built over millions of years to respond intensely to unpredictable, potentially important signals dropped into an environment engineered by people who study that exact mechanism for a living and paid according to how well it works on you. Does that mean you're powerless? Not quite. Understanding the mechanism changes how it feels to resist it. Turning off notifications isn't just a productivity tip. It's removing the random reward that your brain can't stop chasing. Leaving your phone in another room isn't willpower, it's distance from the lever. Skinner's pigeons never stopped pecking because they decided to be stronger. They stopped when the lever was taken away. There is something almost humbling in realizing that the device shaping your attention hour after hour, day after day, isn't outsmarting some unique weakness in you personally. It's speaking directly to instincts your ancestors needed to stay alive on a savanna you will never see, in a world that no longer exists, using signals that no longer mean what they once meant. The predator in the grass is gone, the rustle remains, and your hand still moves toward it every single time before you've even had the chance to ask yourself why. So tonight, when your phone buzzes in the dark, and your hand moves toward it before your mind has caught up, remember what's actually happening. It isn't really your phone you can't stop checking. It's a 100,000-year-old instinct, still scanning the grass, still listening for a rustle that stopped meaning danger a long, long time ago.